Well, guys, once again, good evening. Welcome to our session. Today we continue working with our unit 2 that we started yesterday on the second part, of course. And I was telling you at the beginning of the session yesterday that this unit in particular is going to be different in terms of how the grammatical component is addressed. You notice that we weren't talking about the typical tenses or the typical conjugations that we usually have. I don't know, passive voice, reported speech, blah, blah, blah. It is a little more, let's say, complex, but once again, keeping the idea that complex is not complicated. Yesterday, we began talking about how adjectives are created. I was telling you that it wasn't like the typical set of adjectives, beautiful, ugly, cheap, expensive. We were talking about suffixes and prefixes to make adjectives. We continue talking about that grammatical component tonight, and we're going to focus our attention on nouns. So once again, it's going to be a little bit grammatical, but not only related to that vocabulary. Tonight, we also have some listening and also some speaking. Probably not that much compared to yesterday, but we will have the chance to share some ideas. To have our book as a point of reference, we will be working on the information that we have on pages 20 and 21, just in case, okay? So in the meantime, while you get ready and set everything up, I mean the book and stuff, I'm going to get the list in order to take attendance. Today is 9, it's true. Give me a second. Okay. Gerson Arismendi.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Keiner Baez. Not here. Oh, let me check the list one more time. No, not here. Jean-Claude Barrera.
Present.
Okay. Yesid Calderon.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Natalia Camargo.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Andrés Camilo Correa.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Andrés Corredor.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Silvia Natalia Cuellar.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Johan Alberto Duque.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Elkin Darío Fernández. Not here for the moment. Julián Jesús Figueroa.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Ginette Valentina Fontecha. Not here. Carlos Andrés Galán.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Mabel y Juliet Gamboa.
Present, teacher.
Okay. José Alejandro Gómez.
Here, teacher.
Okay. And Lizeth Carolina Tarazón.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Very good. Well, guys, as I was telling you tonight, we are going to work on pages 20 and 21, the second grammatical component of this unit. From the lesson that we started yesterday, the lesson that you had just studied, we have been talking about feelings. We were talking about, well, first of all, descriptions, because they were adjectives. A few moments ago, you guys were talking about happiness. We continue with that idea, talking about what makes us, in this case, feel good. Before we actually go to the exercise that we have on the book, let's have a kind of mini survey. Let's put it like that. I want to share my screen with you. The idea is very simple. Which things in your life make you feel bad? The idea, guys, is that you're going to choose 1 or 2 words. I am not asking you to write a complete sentence or a paragraph or something. We have used Mentimeter like a million times. So the idea that on each box, you are going to write only 1 or 2 words, okay? Which aspects? Think of whatever makes you, in this case, but I want to begin with the positive one. Yes. Which one makes you feel good? Okay. Once again, 1 or 2 words. Make you feel bad is going to be the second question. You decide if you talk about a situation, if you talk about an activity, if you talk about a place, that's up to you. For the moment, this is just like the warm up, you know, based on the fact that that is going to be the general idea of this lesson, talking about what makes us feel good or bad. But first, let's begin with what makes you feel good. Remember, guys, on each box, you are going to write 1, maximum 2 words. It is not necessary, no. I don't want you to write complete sentences, 1 or 2 words, okay? I already sent the link to the chat. Guys, did you have any questions about the instruction?
No, teacher.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes just because we are starting. What makes you feel good or bad? Let's see. Good. Just only for the moment, tell me the things that make you feel good. Ok. Solo 6 enviaron la respuesta, no sé los otros 8 dónde están. For the moment, talking about what make you feel good, we were keeping it positive, right? We were talking about my family. That means that most of you agree on this answer. Let's see other answers. My cat, be healthy, learn new things, I guess in this case, selfishness is more like a negative trait. I don't think that that is something that makes people happy. Also, injustice, probably in this case, that was related to the negative. A dog, pets in general, health, of course. Okay, those are aspects, and this vocabulary is going to help us in a moment. 8 answers, okay. But now you're going to tell me the negative ones. In this case, talking about what makes you feel bad. In this case, some of you had already sent your answers. Be fat, limitations, lose, adulthood. Okay, we can't run away from this one. Selfishness is the negative one. Limitations, being unpunctual, absolutely. Se me escapa, I think mistakes was the other one. Okay. As usual, well, you know that the answer that we have in the middle is going to be like the biggest one. That means most of you agree on that idea in particular. Okay, very good. I don't know, maybe there are some answers that are being sent. Okay. Well, guys, let's have a look at the book now. Remember that, well, as you could imagine from this activity that we did, here we are going to kind of classify all these words into 3 different categories. The first category, things that make people feel good. Second category, things that make people feel bad. And maybe, why not, those words that actually could be in both good and bad, of course, depending on the context. Let's have a look at the expressions that we have in here. You are going to read them, of course. Andres Correa, could you read the first, the second, and the third, please?
Okay, teacher. The first one is financial security. The next one is good friendships. And another one is a strong relationship or marriage.
That's it. Financial, Andres. Good. Andres Felipe, could you read the other 3, please?
Yes, teacher. Having variety and variety and excitement life. My hobbies and my interest. See, did I pronounce well?
Well, I'm waiting until you finish to tell you some corrections.
Okay. A lack of sleep, exhaustion.
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 Okay, in this one is variety and
Variety.
excitement. No variety, no variety.
Variety.
Excitement in here. And in this case, always A and U sounds like an O, exhaustion.
Exhaustion.
That would be it. Thank you, Andres. Let's have a look at the other 3 that we have in here. Carlos, could you read them, please?
Yes, teacher. Being fit. Criticisms from others. Being an employer, not an employee.
That's it. Elkin, please, could you read the other 3, please? These 3. Well, these 4, actually.
Okay. Being a non-conformist, lack of confidence, exam stress, paying taxes.
That's it. And the final set of ideas in this case, Jean-Claude, please.
Being unemployed, lack of money, doing something creative.
Creative. And this one, unemployed. Well, guys, of course, thank you, Jean-Claude. Of course, when you have a look at them in the book, it's easier because you get the whole list. In this case, well, if I zoom in, some of them won't appear on the screen. Remember that the idea is to classify them, of course, based on the 3 categories that we have. In your opinion, which of these things make people feel good, feel bad, or even they go in both? But let's have a look at some vocabulary. Maybe we can help each other, of course, not only like me answering, you guys can know. The idea is that actually you guys help each other in terms of the meaning of the word. So any word from this that we have just read that we need to refresh our memory about related to the meaning that it has? No questions?
No, teacher.
Okay. Very good. Well, guys, well, now that we know that we don't have a lot of words of vocabulary, I'm gonna give you 6 minutes in order to classify the words. Then after that, we're going to check and let's see how similar or maybe different our answers are. Don't forget the 3 categories, good, bad, or both. 6 minutes starting now. Okay, let's see from your opinion, your perspective. Of course, probably at some point you would consider that we have different opinions. We'll see. Silvia Natalia, from your perspective, which of these think of the list make people feel good? Tell me three.
Doing something creative, yes.
Creative.
Creative,
Okay.
sorry, yes. Good
Mhm.
friendships.
One more.
I don't know, but for me is being fit.
Okay,
Sí.
good. That's for you. Perfect, Silvia. Thank you. Jose, what about you? Tell me three more different from the ones that Silvia already shared.
Okay, teacher, about the good.
The
Yes.
good ones, yes.
Okay, receiving positive feedback or praise for a job well done.
Where was that one?
Relaxing in a comfortable and peaceful environment.
But Jose, where was that one?
About the things that, okay, teacher, entendí mal. O sea, yo estaba haciendo como las mías.
Todavía no. For the moment,
Ay,
the ones from the list.
me adelanté.
A
Dale.
little. Okay. Well, in the meantime, Lisette, from the list, the ones talking about that make people feel good.
Okay, for me, a strong relationship,
Okay.
my hobbies and interests, and having variety and excitement in life.
Very good. Gerson, do you have the same or maybe another one to add to the good list? From what
Okay,
Lisette
teacher.
and Sylvia already said?
The majority I have the same addition, doing something creative.
Creative, but yeah, was already included.
Creative, okay.
Okay.
Being fit, I don't remember if Sylvia mentioned.
Yeah, Sylvia mentioned said that for her being fit, that was in
Okay.
the good list. Okay.
Only this teacher, in addition, commentary of Sylvia.
Okay. Thank you, Gerson. And Natalia, you raise your hand.
Yes, teacher. For me, financial security.
Financial security.
Security and my hobbies and interests. I don't remember if other let's may say my hobbies and interests for me is good. And being an employer, not an employee.
Employee.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good, Natalia. Those are the positive ones from your perspective. Let's have a look at the ones that make people feel bad. In this case, Julian, which ones did you get from the list?
For what the first one? Lack of money. Exam stress.
Stress. Where was it? Where exam stress? Yes.
And the last one, being unemployed.
Being unemployed. Okay, those are from you. Any word or phrase to add, Carlos, from the ones that Julian already said for the negative ones?
Maybe lack of confidence.
Absolutely.
Lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep. Very good. Well, talking about positive and negative, because they are like on different corners, let's put it like that, probably it's a little bit easier, I dare to say. I hope that I'm not being too cocky. What about they could be both? I think that this could be very subjective. Mabel, in your opinion, which could be both positive or negative depending on the beholder?
Teacher, for me, I think maybe criticisms
Criticism.
from others
Mhm.
and benefit.
Okay.
No more.
Those two. Okay, good. Once again, from different perspectives. Jean-Claude, any others that you consider that could go in both besides the ones that Mabel already said?
Being a non-conformist.
Okay,
No more.
no more. Okay, there is one that you guys haven't mentioned, or I think that I haven't heard, although I have been like trying to pay attention to all of them. I don't know in which one you would put. I was thinking about that one, Natalia. Paying taxes. Could be both for some cases, I don't know, that depends on your opinion, of course. But I was waiting for you in which category you would place it. Natalia, I think that you put it in which one, in both?
Yes, teacher.
Mm.
Because it's my responsibility, but I don't like it.
Mm,
And
yes.
for other hand,
On the other
it-
hand,
on the other hand, it's good because I have the money to pay. You know? But I don't like.
Yeah, it's annoying at the end of the day, but as you said, it's part of the responsibility as citizens that we are. Andre says marriage could be both. Okay. Once again, a very subjective point of view. I think that today's session, including the previous one, also was very subjective in terms of happiness. In this case, it applies the same. Well, guys, we're going to move to a listening exercise that is on the book, but I put these images here, like to avoid confusion with the different, let's say, exercises that we have there. As I was telling you, let me adjust here the track for a moment. Yes. The instruction says, you're going to listen to the three people in the photos, okay? Which things make them feel good and bad? The idea, guys, is that you keep in mind the list that we have just, let's say, analyzed. I'm talking about those phrases that you categorized into the three different sections, let's say sections, good, bad, and both. The track, as you can imagine, 3 minutes, what a surprise. So that means that, please, guys, take some notes. The idea is that then after we listen, we can share the different things that make them feel good and make them feel bad, okay? I guess that would be it. Questions? Okay. Be ready to take some notes. As I was telling you, they are going to talk about some of the aspects presented on the first list. They're also going to mention some more. Where is the track? Here it is. I'm just adjusting the track. Once again, it's the same that we have on the book. I just put it in there so we could analyze it a little bit more. We're gonna listen twice.
Recording 2. Frankie.
Yeah, well, I guess it's all the normal stuff for a student, really. Having an active social life makes me happy, and my friends are important. Good friendships are always important, aren't they? What else? Well, I guess I like my subject. I just enjoy the intellectual stimulation of philosophy, even if the tutors are a bit crazy sometimes. But the other side of it that I don't enjoy so much is the loneliness. All those late nights studying on my own. And sometimes, you know, I get nervous about exams. I failed my last one, so, well, exam stress is definitely a problem for me. And I guess I'd like to meet more people. It's like, well, lack of confidence can hold me back a bit sometimes.
Rick. Let's start with the things that make me feel bad. What I really hate is lack of sleep. It leaves me just exhausted. And because I'm so tired, I fall asleep in the evening when I should be relaxing. So yeah, not having time to relax is also a problem. The other thing that annoys me is criticism from my family, from my wife in particular. She works long hours, you know, she's a currency trader in the city. So sometimes when she comes home, her complaints can really wind me up. But the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. I mean, watching my children grow up is the most important thing in the world to me. Spending so much time with them, even if it is a bit exhausting. And I enjoy being a bit of a non-conformist. I'm the only dad around here who looks after the kids, and I like that, being a bit different.
Nancy.
Being the CEO of a big company has a lot of advantages, of course. It's my company and nobody tells me what to do. That's number one for me. I like being an employer, not an employee. You know, I don't like firing people, but I do it if I have to. Then, of course, financial security makes me feel good. I earn a good salary, but I work hard, so I deserve it. My company does market research for corporate clients, so yes, I'm the face of the company. It's an important role. So, what makes me feel bad? Well, firing people, like I said, and, well, personally, I think the taxes in this country are too high. So, no, I don't like paying taxes. But then, who does? And I guess I worry about where society is going. I worry about antisocial behaviour on the streets. That makes me feel bad. All in all, though, I'm happy with life. I work hard, and that brings results.
We're gonna listen the second time. Remember, guys, to take some notes.
Unit 2, Recording 2. Frankie.
Yeah, well, I guess it's all the normal stuff for a student, really. Having an active social life makes me happy, and my friends are important. Good friendships are always important, aren't they? What else? Well, I guess I like my subject. I just enjoy the intellectual stimulation of philosophy, even if the tutors are a bit crazy sometimes. But the other side of it that I don't enjoy so much is the loneliness. All those late nights studying on my own. And sometimes, you know, I get nervous about exams. I failed my last one, so, well, exam stress is definitely a problem for me. And I guess I'd like to meet more people. It's like, well, lack of confidence can hold me back a bit sometimes.
Rick. Let's start with the things that make me feel bad. What I really hate is lack of sleep. It leaves me just exhausted. And because I'm so tired, I fall asleep in the evening when I should be relaxing. So yeah, not having time to relax is also a problem. The other thing that annoys me is criticism from my family, from my wife in particular. She works long hours, you know, she's a currency trader in the city. So sometimes when she comes home, her complaints can really wind me up. But the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. I mean, watching my children grow up is the most important thing in the world to me. Spending so much time with them, even if it is a bit exhausting. And I enjoy being a bit of a non-conformist. I'm the only dad around here who looks after the kids, and I like that, being a bit different.
Nancy.
Being the CEO of a big company has a lot of advantages, of course. It's my company and nobody tells me what to do. That's number one for me. I like being an employer, not an employee. You know, I don't like firing people, but I do it if I have to. Then, of course, financial security makes me feel good. I earn a good salary, but I work hard, so I deserve it. My company does market research for corporate clients, so yes, I'm the face of the company. It's an important role. So, what makes me feel bad? Well, firing people, like I said, and, well, personally, I think the taxes in this country are too high. So, no, I don't like paying taxes. But then, who does? And I guess I worry about where society is going. I worry about antisocial behavior on the streets. That makes me feel bad. All in all, though, I'm happy with life. I work hard, and that brings results.
Okay, that was it. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes probably to organize the notes and the ideas that you wrote down. Then after the 2 minutes, we're going to check the answers. 2 minutes starting now. Well, guys, time's up. Let's see how, well, the things that you got from each person. We were talking about positive and negative. That's it. Let's begin with Frankie. Which are the good things that she talks about?
One thing that, can you hear me?
Yes.
One thing that Frankie enjoy is spend time with friends and like her subjects,
Okay.
And she hate
But
loneliness. Only
for the moment, the
good
positive
things.
ones.
Positive.
Any other to add?
14, intellectual stimulation.
Okay, very good.
And no more. Sure.
Okay, that would be it.
All.
Sorry, Jesse.
Oh no, that is all. No more.
Oh, okay, that's it. Anything to add about the good things that Frankie says, Mabeli?
No, teacher. I have the same.
Okay. What about the negative then, Mabeli?
Teacher, it's an stress.
Loneliness.
Lack of confidence. No more.
Okay, that would be it. There is one more. I don't know if any of you guys also has it. To check
Teacher, I
my...
think lost her subjects or
when we're talking about a bad grade would be fail, but no, that one is not included. So I already said loneliness, exam stress, and lack of confidence. There is one more. Let's see. Or you guys have the same?
Teacher studying on her own.
Yes, well, that is connected to loneliness. Probably another one that she was also talking about was wanting to meet more people. And then it was connected with the lack of confidence. But of course, the answers that you got, guys, were already good. Let's have a look at tricks. Carlos, which are the positive things that tricks, well, excuse me, the good things, well, pretty much the same, that Rick said.
Okay, teacher, for Rick, I only have but not good for it, but not conformist is possible.
Being a nonconformist, that is one. Yes. Okay.
Criticism for his way or is bad?
For him, it is a good thing.
Okay.
Being a nonconformist, yeah, he pointed it out as a positive trait for him. And that's the one that you have, right?
No more.
That's okay. Andres Correa, which other things did Rick mention?
about the feel bad or
Not the good ones.
I think watching his children growing up, but I didn't get another one, teacher.
Okay, that one is good. It's a little bit connected to that one, by the way. Elkin, which is, do you have the third one? The good things from Rick?
Rick or, okay, the third one, the good sense of Rick. Okay, he's non-conformist. He's near here. Excuse me, his kids. Okay, what he could spend time with this kid. I only
That one.
take notes about this.
The spending time with his children.
Just
That's the one. That is why I was telling you that it was connected to watching his children growing up. Those like somehow were, let's say, together. Okay, thank you, Elkin. Jean-Claude, what about the bad things that Rick said?
Okay, back things. Lack of sleep, criticisms from his wife and his family.
There is one more. Those are the ones that you have. Those are good ones. Okay, Jean-Claude. Jose, do you have the third one from the list of Rick?
No, teacher, I don't have more.
Okay. Guys, do you have any other to add to Rick's list? Talking about the bad things.
No, teacher. Solo only lack of sleep. I have.
Yeah, lack of sleep, also
He
criticism.
he
Yes,
talk
Julian.
about his wife, but I don't understand much.
Yeah, that Jean-Claude mentioned that what criticism from his wife, well, family
What
and his
is it?
wife in particular.
Teacher,
Yes, Natalia.
not having time to relax.
Very good. That was the third one, not having time to relax. And we finish with Nancy. What about the good things from Nancy, Gerson?
Okay, teacher, financial security, like being employed.
Employer,
I don't have marketing for Nancy, teacher.
Okay, those two are good. There is also one more. Lisette, did you have that extra trait that Nancy talks about?
Teacher, I have that being the CEO of his own company.
The
because
CEO
nobody CEO
of her.
because of her company because nobody tells her what to do. No more.
Well, I think that works, you know, but technically we were talking about having an important role, and the important role is that she is the CEO, right? That would be the third answer. Yes, Lisette. Let's use that one. That one, sorry. What about the bad things, Natalia?
Teacher, paying taxes
Yes,
and and fearing people, fearing or fighting, I don't know. Firing, okay, firing people, and I don't know more, teacher. No
There is
more.
another one.
Yes.
Do you have the other one, guys, while the noise goes off?
Pay taxes.
But that was the first one that she said. Lisette, you raise your hand.
Teacher, antisocial behavior on the streets.
That was the other one that she mentioned. Okay, very good. Well, guys, these exercises tend to be long, but remember the idea, we take notes, then we share, and then we manage, of course, to enrich everybody's answer. We're going to go back to the book. I put these notes to avoid probably some confusions. We're going to do, you guys are going to do part 5A. It says work in pairs. Actually, you will be working more like in groups of 3 participants. I'm going to send you to breakout rooms, of course. The instruction says, which things in exercise 1 and exercise 4A do you think most affect the people below? We already know exercise 1, the first list that we analyzed. From 4A are these 6, let's say, situations that we have here in our book on page 20. It says spending time with your family, having an active social life, watching children grow up, antisocial behavior, not having time to relax, and intellectual stimulation. As you know, these ideas also appeared on the listening. So from the list that we have, plus these ideas, which do you think affect the people below? We're talking about teachers, young people, parents, entrepreneurs, athletes, and elderly people. Notice that the idea is to give like a statement, you know, rudeness is a big problem for school teachers. Young people worry about exams. It is not only like athletes having social life. No, like a complete idea. Guys, from the 6, let's say, scenarios that we have in here, any questions of vocabulary?
Entrepreneurs is emprendedores.
Yes. It's
Elderly
a
people.
word. Elderly are people who are 50 or more. You know that old, if we say old people, it has more like a pejorative connotation. Elderly is the political correct word to refer to people who are 50 or more.
It's more formal.
Yes, you know, the thing is that using old usually is considered more like offensive, maybe. It's not the same to say an old person to say an elderly person. Usually, but at the end of the day.
Okay,
we
thank
do
you,
what we
teacher.
want. Okay, so guys, from the ideas that we have, even in some cases, if you consider that you could add extra ideas, that would be great. Not only the ones that we have. The idea is to be like a very, let's say, simple exercise. You don't have to write anything on any like link or something. Of course, when we come back, you are going to share which of those ideas you matched with these, let's say, people that we have in here. Okay, in total, you're going to have 12 minutes. Okay, I have to create the groups again. Let me make sure that nobody is alone. Okay. Give me a second. Well, guys, in total, you're going to have 12 minutes. I already told you, making sure that you can share your screen. Let's see how similar or different our answers are. Any questions about the instructions, guys? This one in particular. I take your silence as no question. Let's go. Jean-Claude, Natalia, Jessit. Natalia. Okay. Okay, good. Well, guys, welcome back. Let's see your ideas, how similar or different they are. Of course, after this socialization, we will move to the grammatical component of the night. This actually is pretty connected to what we already discussed yesterday, but it's not about adjectives, it's about nouns. But well, I don't want to get ahead. From group number 1, I would like to ask Natalia, in your opinion, guys, which things do you think most affect teachers?
Teacher, for teacher, teacher are affected for the fact. ¿Aló? ¿Me escuchan?
Yes, for
Yeah.
the what?
Ay, Dios, a ver, un segundito, porque yo sé.
It is working.
Ahora sí. Teacher
Sí.
are affected for the fact that generally they not having time to relax because they usually have to prepare the class with a few days of participation
Or
for
hours.
for their students.
Mhm.
And no more teacher.
Okay, no, yeah, don't worry. That's the one that you got for teachers. That's okay. From the second group, I would like to ask if you have something similar or different related to teachers. Andres Correa.
Okay, teacher. The thing that could almost affect the teacher is lack of sleep is a problem because they work more hours than they should. And sometimes they spend a lot of time reviewing student exams.
Okay, that would be it. Thank you, Andres, and group number 2. From group number 3, guys, what about what affects young people?
Teacher, young people. Unemployment is a big problem for young people because they don't have opportunities to grow professionally and accumulate work experience. Other exam stress is very bad for young people because it puts them under unnecessary pressure that can lead to negative results that will unfairly affect them. Finally, for young people, it's very important to have an active social life because it helps them have a better quality of life and find good relationships for a job or a business.
Okay, Jean-Claude, thank you. Well, I think I had asked Carlos, but anyway.
Okay, sorry,
Or I
teacher.
said Jean-Claude, or I said your name? Let's say yes.
No sé cuál grupo era yo pensé que era el 3, no sé cuál grupo era el mío.
No, you are in 4, Jean-Claude.
Okay, sorry, teacher.
But well, good answers, of course. Carlos, do you have in your group, did you collect same answers or something to add to group number 4?
Yes, teacher, in group number 3.
Yeah, you're number 3.
Okay, having an active social life for young people and, for example, intellectual, excuse me, and in occasion, antisocial behavior.
In occasions, could you repeat, sorry?
Antisocial behavior.
Antisocial behavior.
For example, in the WIS
manifestations,
example,
maybe?
or in, yes.
Absolutely. Okay, Carlos, thank you. What about only said you're alone? What happened?
Yes, teacher, I don't know.
You were abandoned by, I don't know whom. I don't remember which one was there. But I think, well, you can provide by yourself, of course.
Yes.
What affects parents the most?
Okay, I think not having time to relax is a problem for parents because they are always taking care of their children and they may not have time for themselves.
Absolutely. Something else to add to parents, Julian Jesus?
Okay. Hello? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, for
Yes, you are.
parents, similar, parents have a problem with antisocial behavior in the streets because their children may be in danger when they go to the school or something like that.
Something like that. Okay. Thank you, Julian. Elkin, what about entrepreneurs?
Okay, in the bad things that most affect the people, like entrepreneurs, they haven't time to relax
Don't have time to
because
relax.
they often work long hours. And it's a general thought about our government is due to the high taxes in Colombia. They had plenty of problems to create a company and manage it.
Okay, good. Something to add, Jose, to what Elkin said about entrepreneurs?
Yes, teacher, I think that one idea that make entrepreneurs feel good or bad is doing something creative because they want to develop a business. So they have this preoccupation, this
Concern.
yes.
Okay. Nice, guys. Andres Felipe, what about athletes?
Wait. No, don't having time to relax. I
Not
think
having.
not having time to relax. I think is one of the problems that athletes can have in their life because they always are preparing themselves to be the best or just to be on the top of the sport that they practice.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you. Something else to add about athletes? Maveli.
Teacher, athletes? I think that lack of confidence can be a big problem for athletes because it can affect their results at the competitions.
Okay, absolutely. Good point. And well, to finish these categories, what about elderly people, Silvia Natalia?
Yes, teacher. About the elderly people, I think in the health because they are old now and it's normal they start to feel unhealthy and loneliness, but in some cases because sadly nowadays is normal that elder people are lonely.
Alone.
And yes, it's sadly, but it's a reality.
Okay. You said lonely. Sorry.
Yes, lonely. And their mental and physical main decline. It's like the health because maybe I don't know if mental, but physical is pretty normal.
Okay. That would be it. And to finish this category, Jessit, anything to add to what Sylvia had already said?
Another thing that affect the older people, I think, is paying taxes, um, having an activity social life.
Active.
an occasion. Okay.
Okay.
And having varied and exciting in life and her family.
Their family.
Their family,
Okay.
sorry, teacher.
Okay, guys, very good. All those answers that you were providing were actually leading us to that grammatical component that we have for the night. Let me share my screen, in this case, pointing out the grammatical information that, as I was telling you, is the idea of tonight. I'm adjusting something that we're going to do after the information that I share. Okay. Yesterday, we were talking about adjectives, and I was telling you that we had to go back a little bit in time because we had to refresh our memory with those Spanish classes that we took in primary school and high school. And to summarize it even more, we said that adjectives are those words that we use to describe or modify the noun, and that was it. Tonight, we are going to talk about nouns that, as you know, in Spanish, we're talking about the sustantivos. A very, very summarized definition with I combined very and basic examples are here. We consider a noun is a word that refers to a thing. Could be a book, a person, for example, the name of someone, Bill Gates, an animal, talking about a cat, a place, for example, Hawaii, an activity, talking about soccer, or an idea, talking about justice. Notice the three examples that we have in here. The words that we have in bold, in this case, paying attention to those one in particular, are the ones that are the nouns. That's my favorite book. Peanuts are on sale today. Camping is a great summer activity for the whole family. So, typical information, vocabulary that we use all the time. But remember that in this unit, we are not talking about the basic adjectives, and in the same idea here, the basic nouns. Yesterday, we were talking about prefixes and suffixes. Tonight, in particular, we're going to focus our attention on suffixes. We said that the suffixes are a group of letters that when we put them next to the word, the meaning of the word changes, becomes something new. Of course, respecting the root, let's put it like that. But at the end of the day, let's say that thanks to the suffix, we have a new word. That means that yesterday we had those suffixes that were helping us to create those words to describe. In this case, we're talking about suffixes that are helping us to create nouns. Okay, remember, sustantivos. So, once again, we can have a very comprehensive list of suffixes that are going to help us to know or to recognize that we're talking about nouns. We have here the word patriot, that it's an adjective, and we can add this suffix ism to make it now a noun, patriotism, and that is how the words are made. Remember one thing that we said yesterday, guys. These are just letters that alone, they don't mean anything. If we say ism without any context, ism is literally nothing, right? Thanks to the fact that we put it next to this word, now we have patriotism, which is actually a word that has real meaning. Notice that I'm sure that you have used patriotism many times, but we weren't really aware or we weren't paying attention to the fact that, okay, thanks to this suffix ism, I am using a noun. But now we are focusing a little bit more on those linguistic components. Remember, the list is comprehensive. One more time. If you want to expand a little bit more on your books on page 135, we have lots of examples and lots of suffixes. Similar to what I was telling you yesterday, these are one of those things that we have to study and to learn by heart, because it is not like a perfect rule that you can discover which type of word goes with which suffix. Probably one of the most common is this one that is referring to a condition, usually, for example, decision, position. We have meant, that is probably also one of the most common suffixes that is also related to a condition, like punishment, establishment. Well, this ending in here, we added two adjectives to make nouns, okay? So for example, anxious is an adjective. We make the transformation to make it a noun. Anxiety is the noun. Immune is the adjective. Immunity is the noun. So thanks, let's put it like that, to the suffix, we can transform, in this case, an adjective to make it a noun. Ist usually is related to a person who practices, novelist, scientist. Of course, there are other words, other endings like er, teacher, engineer, that also relates to a person who practices. And also this ending that is very common, talking about sorry, an action or state like difference or tolerance. Of course, if we see the suffixes without any context, the information doesn't really make sense. What we really need to keep in mind is that nouns, well, maybe a little bit, it may be a little bit obvious. Nouns are not verbs. We are not talking about actions. We are not talking about descriptions. Usually nouns go at the beginning of the sentence, right? Talking about who is in charge, sorry, of making the action. Yesterday, well, I make the comparison because everything goes together. Among the big list of suffixes that we were studying yesterday, we were talking about two that were very important, that were ed and ing. Guys, what did we say about the ed ending? What is their meaning? What do you remember from yesterday? The ed in adjectives, what does it mean?
Like a state?
It's a state.
Quality?
Quality
No?
can be tricky. It's more a state, more for feelings, more for emotions, because ing goes more on the line of qualities and characteristics. That is why I don't want you to get confused. And in that moment, we were talking about adjectives, the words to describe. Oh, I'm asking you this because we can also find nouns that begin with ing. The grammatical or the technical name that you're going to find, guys, is gerunds. The fact that the word goes with ing doesn't mean, first of all, that it's an action that is being in progress, and it's definitely not related to an action in particular. When I say an action, I'm talking about it is not a verb. The word is being a noun. Look at these statements. It says partings are always painful. What's the meaning of parting? Oh, no, it's a party, no? I know that we are already tired, but it's only Tuesday. What's the meaning of partings or parting? Because of course, well, it is in plural. Parting, what is the meaning of this word?
Despedida.
Despedida, separación, inclusive. So notice that it goes with ing, but it is not an action in progress. So of course, if we make the translation, las despedidas siempre son dolorosas. Notice that we're not talking about anything despidiéndose or something like an action. It is a noun. The lightning struck the building. Traveling might satisfy your desire for new experiences. The police arrested him for speeding. In these cases, once again, we have to be very careful because although it has ing, it doesn't mean that the action is in progress. That is why the technical name of these things are gerunds, because it would be inappropriate to say like, the verb in continuous form. It's not usually in continuous form. In this case, for example, traveling, what would be related to?
Travel.
Yeah.
Basically, that would be the idea. Also, keep in mind that even traveling, well, we already know that travel, it is not only a verb, it is also a noun. And in this case, the action is being considered a noun. More like an action in progress. Notice that in this case, the real verb in the sentence is satisfy, not traveling. In this case, give me a second, Andres. Traveling is being the noun of the sentence because the verb is satisfy. Tell me, Andres.
Sorry, teacher. Just for make a commentary. I started reading a book in English,
Nice.
but in some cases, I reading a book, whatever, because I find just this book in English. But I don't know if I do the right choose. I try to find. I am trying to find a book more according of my level because my purpose is like this. Watch words that I thought it means something, but also it mean in the context mean different. Like we see the adjectives and the nouns. Some of them are really similar, but they depend on the context. I don't know if there are any. My question is, I don't know if there are any book that that can help me reading to improve that vision. I don't know.
You know, actually, all of them contain that type of, let's say, literature in that aspect, not only about your level, but also about your likes. You know, that is also a second aspect to keep in mind, and that is like a piece of advice for everybody. You know, do your level, guys, but also keep in mind that you choose something that you like. And that is something that you're going to find in any book, in any text. And it is important because we recognize that the word doesn't have the meaning that we always know. For example, the lining struck the building. And if we think of light only as loose, then we see that probably the idea of the text doesn't match the meaning that I know. So that means that I have to make a pause, look for the meaning of the word, and then to discover that in this case, I'm not talking about only the typical light in particular. Guys, what's the meaning of lining?
Raya.
Very good. So, ok, no es la típica luz, porque no dice luz y en es como un verbo. No. Then we know that, we notice that. You're going to find that in any book, but keep in mind that your likes and your
Pero,
level.
sí, teacher, pero de pronto algún tipo de literatura me ayude más que otra. No sé, porque yo estoy leyendo uno que es como un diario sobre
And tell
una.
me that in English, Andres. I know that you're tired, but that is not an excuse.
Yes, I don't know, is there any literature better for
Literature?
do this or do that? Because right now I'm reading a book that is like a diary.
Diary?
Diary. Some there are parts easier, but also there are other parts that make me confused because as a diary they go in the present and they go in the past. I don't know if there are any literature better for that. Just for start.
I dare to say that it's pretty similar. Like in Spanish, when we want to begin to read more literature, it's better to start with tales, not necessarily older tales. I dare to say that short stories that are simple to understand, not very demanding or deep books that would be like a next step. I would start with shorter tales, you know, or books that provide lighter stories because that would be easier to analyze. The genre, that's up to you. But in terms of the length, I would start with something like short. That is easier to get at the end of the day. That's like what I would do.
And other any application that I can use, you know?
Well, actually, I'm not really good at apps. Whatever, guys, I always believe that whatever you use works. The important thing is that you are constant. It doesn't matter if you go to grammarinenglish.com, if you go every day and you practice and it makes sense to you and you do it honestly, it is going to work for you. So whatever you use, do it constantly and you're going to improve your level. It doesn't matter the app that you use. That's my perspective. Probably there are some people that think differently. All of us have a different opinion. In my opinion, everything works if you are constant enough. Well, I mean, like talking about something extra but important at the end of the day. Guys, remember that this is not like the typical grammatical structures that we have already studied in the past. Now we are being more precise in the use of the language. In this case tonight, talking about nouns. Once again, if we look at the list that we have in here, I'm pretty sure that you have used, all of us have used these words many, many times. But now you are being more aware of what these endings, well, endings, not the proper name, what these suffixes mean, okay? That is the idea on this part. Well, guys, we still have 10 minutes left. This is what you are going to do. On our book, on page, this is page 21, the idea is to complete these words. It is different from the exercise that we did yesterday, okay? Yesterday, the idea was to put the suffix. Notice that here we already have the suffix. What we have to do is to put the beginning of the word. Of course, our point of reference is going to be the context that we are being provided. That is how we know how we should start. For example, I'm going to do number one. Probably is the easiest one. It says, someone who studies the human mind, and the ending is with ist. In this case, we're talking about the person who, that means that the answer is psychologist. Okay, so look at the definitions that we have in here. We already have the suffix. We can't change the suffix. We have to keep them. And then you have to put the beginning of the word. Okay. Guys, is it clear what we have to do?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, we're going to do tonight until number 6. And then, because of time, I know that you're already tired. From 7 to 12 would be the homework, okay? So I think that we can do these 5 ones easily. We check them, so we managed to make sure that the idea of the exercise is clear. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Then we're going to check. And then from 7 to 12 would be the mini homework, very mini homework, okay? Okay.
Excuse me, teacher, what is the page?
21, sorry.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, 5 minutes. And then we check. Okay, let's see. Who has number 2? A volunteer, please.
Teacher,
Yes,
I
Madeline.
think is pollution.
Very good. Could you write it down in the chat, please? Jessie, you raise your hand. Thank you. What about, you have number 3? Jessie.
Number 3. Overcrowding.
Very good. Send it to the chat, please. Natalia, what about number 4?
Economics.
Very good. Send it to the chat, please. Any volunteer for number 5?
Well-being.
Yes, Gerson, very good. Could you send it to the chat, please? And any volunteer for number 6?
Reality, teacher.
Reality, very good. Let me see the chat. We have number 2, pollution. Number 3, overcrowding. And number 4, economist. Number 6, reality. Okay, very good. I'm sure that most of you have already looked at the other ones. Of course, as I told you, the idea is to keep them as a homework. So tomorrow we have also the opportunity to begin with this second part from 7 to 12 and also to refresh our memory a little bit on this grammatical aspect that we have studied tonight. Well, tomorrow basically we are going to start like another unit because we know how this works. And it is going to be a little bit connected to what we have been studying on these units these days. Don't forget the mini homework. Once again, I'm sure that you have already finished, but the idea is that we can have the time to analyze this information one more time yesterday. Guys, as usual, thank you very much. Do not forget to do the activities in the virtual campus. I hope that you have already started. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye,
teacher.
teacher. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.